Hello, my fabulous friends. Welcome back to Java and Joy. We are cruising through this little February mini love series that we've been doing, self love to be exact. We're already on episode 3. I am shocked to even think that. February is flying. January, stood frozen, in my opinion, but February is floating. So, that's what we're going to be doing today is going into episode 3. This one's going to be about friendships after 40. I get so many questions from women who are over 40 asking how I maintain my friendships, how I make new friends, how do I keep my social battery charged on a regular basis. And I got to tell you, I think you're going to find this really, really enlightening. The difference of friendships after 40. We're going to talk about letting go of friendships, starting over with new friendships, and just literally like how to find your people because social connection is so very, very important for our overall well being, for our mental health, physical health, all of it. Okay. So, we're really going to talk about the social life today. So, we're calling this Friendships After 40. Again, this is the third of our little self-love mini series that we're doing in February. And I want to point out that this week is Valentine's Day and also Galentine's Day. So make sure you are intentionally doing something to make a connection this week and spend time with someone who means something to you. Does not have to be a romantic relationship. This can be a gal pal. But I also want you to make sure you're spending time with yourself this week. That's self love. Do something different for yourself you don't normally do. I honestly recommend you do this all the time, but plan yourself some kind of hour, evening, afternoon, whatever you can fit in with your schedule where you just kind of take some time with yourself. And that can look different for everybody. Maybe that is just you having a meal that you really enjoy cooking and eating and having it with yourself, or going to somewhere to take yourself to eat that is a special meal for you. Maybe that's a spa day or a spa like hour, time in your tub, face mask, bubble bath, whatever. But take that time to plan that self care and that self love for yourself this week. And happy Valentine's Day to everyone, and happy Valentine's Day to everyone. So, with that being said, let's do our usual ease in warm ups that we like to do. Of course, this is Java and Joy. We have the joy always. We got to have the Java. At least I do. If you don't like coffee, if you don't like caffeine, even, that's okay. Grab whatever beverage suits you. It could just be a warm glass of water, lemon water. It doesn't matter. Grab something soothing for yourself. Get a comfy seat. This is your coaching cafe where you get to just relax and spend time for yourself while you listen to these episodes. And if you're not driving, take a selfie of you enjoying your favorite beverage. Post that on Instagram for me. Give me a tag at Beauty by Carla Joy. You can also do that on Facebook. I love seeing you guys just share your joy and show your love for the show. And it really does help encourage each other to find those moments of joy throughout the day. And I like to pick, little, pop-up winners for little giveaways that I do: coffee gift cards, beauty items, you name it. I like grabbing little things and giving prizes for you guys since my love language is gift giving. So keep those coming. Love seeing them. But for now, take a deep breath. Release all the tension in your body. Unclench any muscles that are tight right now. And just enjoy this time that is just for you. And let's kick it off like we always do and share one joy moment of the week. Mine, I had one picked, but right before I was ready to record today, I stepped outside and the sunshine hit me in such a pleasant and welcoming way. It suddenly is 50 degrees here in Indiana. It is the first time it has been, even over 40, let alone 50 plus degrees. The sun is out. It feels amazing. The snow is showing some signs of melting, which means there is hope. And it just felt absolutely incredible. And I couldn't help but just stand there and really appreciate the warmth on my skin, and not having to have a coat on or feel like I was going to literally freeze to pieces within seconds of walking outside. I couldn't see my breath. The dogs got to join me outside. They laid in the sun on the deck for a little bit. So I couldn't help but make the most out of this as a joy moment. And I went and grabbed my cup of coffee and I just sat there and just literally soaked it in, getting that vitamin D. I've tried to make it a point to be outside as much as I can every day, but we've had some temperatures that it's, I mean, honestly, just not safe to be out for more than a few minutes at a time. We've had negative 20-degree wind chills and single digits and lots of zeros, 0 degrees here in Indiana for what feels like eternity and kind of has been. I mean, we're talking 2+ months of just brutal cold and snow and ice and wind chills and all those things. So 50 absolutely feels like a heat wave. And the fact that the sun's out on top of it, I mean, I couldn't ask for a better joy moment than that. And it was just came at the perfect time. I was struggling today. I was tired, feeling a little drained. And it just revitalized me. It was insane what 10 to 15 minutes can do for your well-being, for your mental health, for your mood. It's absolutely amazing what it can do. So that was definitely my joy moment of the week. So please, if you're watching this on YouTube or if you are on one of my podcast platforms, share it in the comments what your joy moment of the week was. I'd love to hear that from you guys. All right, with that said, let's jump in. And again, we're talking about friendships over 40 today. Let's first of all, we're going to just normalize right off the bat that friendship grief is real. Friendships change, they end, and there is kind of this like quiet, unspoken grief that comes with these changes or ends. For some reason, like friendship breakups, they don't come with like a closure conversation or like a sympathy card. They often just kind of fade slowly. I mean, they sometimes do erupt and end abruptly, but there's not usually like a closure or something like we would in, say, a romantic relationship. And that can lead to a lot of, feelings, a lot of feelings. And sometimes relationships just change so much that you don't recognize them anymore. And that's how a relationship could possibly end. But a lot of times us women, we think like, why does this hurt so much? Like, am I being dramatic? Shouldn't I be over this by now? But let me just say this very clearly and bluntly. Friendship grief is real. It is still a loss when something that was in your life is no longer there. And I think it's because, and we got to realize with friendships, some of these friendships or some of these women they knew you better than anyone else. Maybe even your spouse, your parents, your coworkers. Those close friendships, they knew your stories. They knew your seasons and your phases, and they knew you and maybe in your younger self, or they knew you as you were becoming whatever the new you might look like. So if you've lost friendships, if you've drifted apart, or you feel like you no longer belong where you once did, there's nothing wrong with you. This is truly part of growth, and you need to realize that it deserves tenderness. So go ahead and take a deep breath right now. Show yourself some grace, because more than likely all of us have been through the loss of a friend. So take that breath and know that you are not alone. You're not alone in this. We've all lost a friend in some way, shape, or form. And friendships change after 40. And let's talk about that for just a minute. Like, why does it change so much in that midlife? And it's because this is when our life season changes the most. It's when our careers tend to change the most. Marriages can change here, lots of divorces, or maybe somebody's entering into a second marriage, or maybe even their first marriage. A lot of times the kids are growing up, they're moving out. This is also where a lot of health priorities can shift and change, where you decide that you want to live this healthier life, or maybe you're going through some kind of health issues. And that is part of the journey of life. And it is that season that you're in And we all have to realize, like, we're not just older, we are different. We are not the same physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally as we were in our 20s or our teenage years or our childhood, depending on how far back these friendships go. So just remember that first and foremost, that you're different now. I mean, if you were the same person you were when you were 10, that is shocking to me. You are definitely an outlier of the norm when it comes to that. So most of us have changed in numerous ways, absolute numerous ways. And we'll talk more about that too. I'd say one of the things that we actually realize in our 40s most commonly is like our boundaries. Like we start to realize like what our boundaries are. We start to not tolerate things like we used to tolerate them. And that could be anything. I mean, that could be you no longer tolerate negativity. You no longer tolerate gossip. You no longer tolerate one-sided friendships. Maybe you no longer tolerate emotional dumping on you, right? Without there being like reciprocity there. Like they always dump on me, but they're never there for me to dump on them. Like we start to really be like, enough is enough. We almost subconsciously start protecting our peace that, we all like to say, without even realizing we're doing it. And a lot of it is because, our hormones are changing. We're more tired. We're more irritable, and we're just willing to not put up with as much BS as we once did. And that is okay. This is not something to apologize for. This is normal. We are just no longer willing to waste our precious time and energy on things that we don't need to, on things that do not serve us anymore. We start to realize that time is more precious. We start to realize that time is moving quickly, and we start to value our time more than we used to. And therefore, we start putting up those boundaries and start cutting out the BS, to put it bluntly. We're over the BS in our 40s. Am I right, ladies? We just are. And not to mention, our values have just changed. They've just changed. You're going to put up more boundaries when your values change. Just like I said, if we value waking up every day more than we did in our 20s or 30s or teens, we start to value depth over just history. We start to value peace instead of drama. Those values can change. I mean, maybe you in your 40s, you get more spiritual, or again, you want to be more healthy, whatever. Those are your new values. And your values are going to change when you have different priorities, and naturally you're going to set different boundaries. And that is just human nature, and it's how it goes. We really start to choose alignment over obligation because, again, we're just tired. We're just tired. But this is why our friendships struggle, so to speak. It's because our friendships were built on the past values. They were a lot of times built on proximity. Think about it. If you were living with a college roommate, well, of course you were closer with them. You eat, slept, drank, bathed, everything within a proximity of these people, or you went to classes with them. So of course you were kind of like default, close, because you were literally right there with each other all the time. So once you're not all the time together and you start experiencing all these other things on your own, that proximity becomes, well, not close anymore. And that can cause drifts. We've had friendships that were just convenient. We've had friendships that were just shared survival. We just needed that person in our life for whatever reason at that time. But that didn't mean that you shared values. And even if you shared values, then again, those values can change. So we have to reframe our minds to understand that it's very natural for these friendships to fade. And we have to kind of reframe to and hear ourselves gently that friendships ending don't mean you failed. It just means you've evolved, and you have to evolve your friendships or make new friendships. That's all there is to it, kind of put simply there. Just know that your friendships served their purpose, and they did so beautifully, but then they completed. Those ones that aren't there anymore, they've completed. And you should cherish them, and they will always be a part of you. But that was a different chapter. That was a different you, right? Like your chapters in your life, you look at yourself, you've leveled up, you've changed. Um, and therefore there has to be other characters involved, kind of like a TV show. They bring in a new character every once in a while. Because guess what? The relationships got stale. People changed. They went through something, right? So now they need this person in their life, or they started a new hobby, so they meet new people. All those are natural developments. So it doesn't mean you failed. You've just evolved. Um, so just know that and show yourself some grace with that. You're allowed to honor yourself and not feeling forced with anything. It shouldn't feel forced. That's kind of the bottom line on that. So let's talk about letting go and doing it with grace, not guilt. Because this part's the hard part. Like, we got to slow it down here, because letting go of friendship, it doesn't mean you hate them. It doesn't mean they were bad people. It doesn't mean you were a bad person. It doesn't mean you did something wrong. It doesn't mean they did something wrong. It simply means you are no longer aligned. But it's hard for guilt not to show up. We feel guilty for changing. We feel guilty for needing more. We feel guilty for just not being who you used to be. And somebody may throw that at you and be like, gosh, you're just not the person you used to be. And they'll have like a negative connotation to it. But that's where you could be like, you're right. I'm not the person I used to be. And even if you wanted to still be the person that you were, you have to just admit that you're not, and that you want different things now. You are allowed to change your mind, ladies. Did you know that? You're allowed. Nothing's final. Have you signed a contract? Is there an NDA? Is there some binding thing that says you're not allowed to change your mind or evolve? You are allowed to change your mind. You have the right to do so at any point in time, regardless of this being 40 or over, by the way. If this applies to you, if this is resonating with you and you're 26 years old, same thing. Same rules apply. You have the right. You have the option. You have the choice. So remember, let go with grace, not guilt. Do not feel guilty. Let it go. And here's a few scripts that I'm actually going to give you guys. I have these pulled up. And I encourage you to say them out loud, because speaking out loud is more powerful than thinking. And even writing it down would be even more amazing. And bonus points if you write these down on Post-it notes and put them around the house or around your office, so that you see them on a regular basis, and maybe say them out loud for a week or two. Let them really sink in, right? So here are some of these. I can love what we had without forcing what we no longer are. I'm allowed to grow, even if others don't understand my growth. It's okay to step back without burning bridges. And the last one, and my personal favorite, I do not need permission to evolve. That is definitely my favorite. I love it. You are your own boss, ladies. You're in control. You have the permission from yourself to evolve. No one else's permission is needed. You don't need a permission slip. You don't need a signature. You get to just evolve and not feel bad about it. So I will put all those phrases in the show notes for you guys, especially if you're listening on the radio. Obviously, I don't want you writing and driving or trying to remember any of these things. So I will put them in the show notes so that you can go find them. If you're listening on the radio and you want this information, by the way, you go to one of my podcasts, go to YouTube, Java and Joy on YouTube. That's in the show notes there. I'm on Spotify, iHeartRadio, all the places. Okay, so anywhere you can find the show notes. And if you are still struggling, just come chat with me at Beauty by Carla Joy on every social media platform. Okay. So I want you to also remember to a graceful release. Although it should be grateful too, but a graceful release, it does not have to have a conversation at all to it, by the way. It doesn't have to be an initiative thing that you have to take. It could just look like less and less conversations happening, a little bit more space, a little more distance, just quietly accepting. Not every ending needs an explanation. This is not a story, a movie. You don't need an explanation to change or evolve or to end a friendship. Your peace is the valid reason. That's your reason for your own peace. End of story. Okay, like roll credits. Okay, you don't need to have sit downs and conversations and explanations and defend yourself in any way, shape, or form. Your peace is your valid reason. Okay. So, all right. So now we know how to let go of the friendships. We're not gonna, feel guilty about it. Will you grieve? Yes. Every time you make a change in your life, there's going to be some level of discomfort, and it is okay to grieve. And you'll eventually move on. You really will. And especially once you realize that it just wasn't serving you anymore. And now you have more space and time to fill with people who align better with you, better time spent, more fulfilling for you. So now that we know how to end, how do we make new friendships? Because I feel like this is where we really struggle. Because a lot of times we don't try to end a friendship, right? It just ended, and now we're just trying to figure out why. But when we're trying to make new friends, now we're really thinking about it, right? It's not just happening naturally most of the time, because again, we don't have the proximity we did when we were younger. We were around the same person for long periods of time, like classes and things like that. Most of the time, we're just around our family members or our exact coworkers. And just because they're your coworker doesn't mean you share the same values. So how do we create these new friendships, either after a loss, or maybe you just feel like you need a bigger social bubble? A lot of women will ask, I don't know how to make friends anymore. What should I do? Or I don't want to start over. That sounds like too much work. I don't trust people. I hear that one a lot, which makes sense. But here's something really important to remember too, is that you don't need more friends. You don't need a ton of friends. You really just need some aligned friends, or even just one really good aligned friends. I always recommend having more than one. But the important thing is that whoever or whatever your friend circle is filled with, make sure they're aligned. That's what's going to actually matter. And friendships over 40 are built differently. So they're going to be built, again, on shared values. They're going to be built on emotional safety, mutual respect, honesty, and ease. It should not feel forced. We are not toddlers being thrown into a playpen and forced to play with each other and play blocks or whatever it is we're doing. That's not how that should work. It should feel ease. So instead of asking yourself, how do I find friends? Try asking, who feels safe for me to be myself with? And you need to learn to be open. I'm not saying be desperate, but be curious. Don't be so guarded, and be intentional, but not forcing. So a new friendship can often just start quietly, just by having more conversations with people, especially those with shared interests. So whatever your hobbies are, go find whoever else is doing these hobbies. You like working out? Go talk to the girls in the spin class. If you like, playing games, go to a bingo night or a singo night or a trivia night or something like that and go talk to people. There's a million cooking classes that you could go do. And not even just out and about. You can find groups on Facebook, in every interest and hobby that you can pretty much think of, and chat with women there. Sometimes that social connection, even virtual, is good when you're at least talking about things that you're both mutually interested in. So whatever it is, go put yourself in those interest groups, whether it's physical or virtual, and initiate conversations. Ask people questions. Oh, how long have you been coming to this class? Oh, what's your favorite blah, blah, blah? What's your favorite sport? What's your favorite part of spin class? Who's your favorite teacher? What's your favorite brand of stretchy pants for workout class? Ask questions. Just initiate conversations. Maybe they're holding a water bottle you like, and you're like, wow, I really like your water bottle. Where'd you get it? It's simple. It's just simple. Just be curious. That honestly will open up every conversation you ever need to have, is just by being curious. Just ask people questions and start conversations, because that is where you're going to find the people that have those mutual interests and values, and that will be in a mutual season of life with you at this time. And that's how you're going to create that like community that feels like home, that relationship that feels like home. So first of all, no, you're not behind. You're not starting again. I know it feels like it. You're just being intentional, and you're just building a community that fits you. And it's going to pay off so big to have that support system that's a real support system for you, not one that drains you instead of energizing you. Okay? So just be curious, ask questions. That's honestly the best way for you to make new friendships. That's how you're going to do it. And if you're one of those people that's just like super shy, super timid, I really recommend just starting simple. And maybe you do start virtual, but I really do I would just start with asking people questions like, I love your shirt. Where did you get it? Just like, that's it. Like, it's not deep, no. But it's going to be such a nice little conversation. And go to a coffee shop, or I don't know, like a crumble cookie, or just, where do you like to go and have a snack or a drink, and initiate a conversation with someone there, like, oh, that looks so good. What did you order? Or, you see what I'm saying? Like, just ask questions. And is every time going to link to a friendship? Gosh, no. No, most of the time it's probably going to be a quick answer and out the door you go. But eventually some will click. And for those of you who are timid, it'll give you practice on just talking to people in general. And then it'll start to feel more comfortable and relaxing the more that you do it. Heck, you know what? Here's a fun challenge. I'm just going to throw this out here for those of you who are just terrified to talk to people. Okay. I literally want you to just pick one thing, like let's say a shirt. Let's do shirt. And the question is, oh my gosh, I love your shirt. Where did you get it? You're going to ask that 20 times this week to random people. And I guarantee you'll see, I guess it doesn't have to be a shirt. It can be whatever you want it to be, but 20 people you're going to ask that kind of a question to. And I promise you, 5 or less in, you're going to already feel more comfortable than you did from the first one. And as you go, and once you do it and you realize that like nothing bad's going to happen because you asked somebody where they got something, then you'll start to be like, oh yeah, I got this. It builds confidence. Practice builds confidence. And those little tiny baby questions is how you're going to get there. So go practice that and tell me how it goes for you. Maybe you'll get a new friendship out of it. You never know. And if you don't put yourself out there, no friendships are going to be delivered to your door in a box. This ain't Amazon. Okay, like you can't just order a friend. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. So you have to actually put yourself out there a little bit and be open to meeting some new people. You are going to have to be vulnerable. Yes, you are going to have to be willing to possibly get your heart broken and have those disappointments. But you're also opening yourself to chances of love and friendship and honesty and spiritual connections and all those things. So one of the things I want you to ask yourself as you're making these new friends is, what kind of friendship do I want now? Because I don't want you to just go make more friends that are, surface level, right? We want these to be real connections. We want these to be two-sided. So I want you to think about what you want, not what you should want, not what you used to want. What do you want right now in a friendship? And how will it support you as the woman that you are today? So do you want someone to laugh with? Do you want someone with depth that you can have really, really intimate conversations with? Do you want someone who shares the same spiritual connection with you that you could, have that in common with? Maybe you need creative companionship, someone to just paint or draw or create with. Maybe you just need someone present, someone to just share your day with every day, regardless of what's going on in that day. Just someone to talk to, just someone to bounce ideas off of and things like that. And that becomes two-sided, that you both are doing that on a regular basis together. But you also have to ask yourself, what kind of friend are you willing to be? Because friendships are mirrors, okay? You can't expect someone to show up as their authentic self if you are not showing up as your authentic self. You can't expect someone to message you every day if you aren't messaging them every day. If you don't want someone to message you every day, don't build the relationship on messaging every day. Does that make sense? You have to come in as your real self with your real wants if you want to have a truly open and honest relationship that feeds you instead of drains you. So you have to be like attracting the people that you actually want in your life. So you have to be authentic. And that means not shrinking yourself just to belong or to fit in or to make the friend. You have to fully be you. And you know what? You don't have to be fully you. I'm going to rephrase that. You get to fully be you. No filters, no BS, just you. And that's how you're going to build authentic, real connections and friendships, especially after the age of 40. You have to be authentic. You get to be you. You just get to be you. And you will find your tribe that way. You will find the people that actually resonate with you, not fake you, not only you on a good day you. We all have good day versions, right? There's good day Carla and there's bad day Carla. They gotta be introduced to both. You have to show them who you are if you want that authentic connection. So, if any of this is resonating with you, I want you to know there are so many other women like you right now looking for friendships. I talk to them all the time. They're looking for your honesty. They're looking for your depth, your energy, your heart, your spirituality. You just have to find each other. And again, get out there, talk to people, get into Facebook groups. Heck, come join my VIP group. It's called Joyful Beauties on Facebook. It's just a group of women who follow me on Facebook, and you could probably find people in there to talk to, honestly. Just be open to trying new things. You never know, what door that you walk through is going to be the right one. So try different spaces, try different things. That way you can create real connections, not surface level relationships. You really, truly deserve a friendship that feels like an exhale, like it should feel safe. It should feel like happiness and laughter. It should feel like home to you. Those are the friendships you guys deserve. We all deserve it. We deserve to be loved. Like I said, this has nothing to do with being in love or an actual romantic relationship. It's just friendships. But to be honest with you, all of this, everything we've talked to, guess what? All applies to a romantic relationship as well. So if you're in that era, in that season of your life, most or all of everything we just talked about, tips I've given you, take the same road, same roadmap. Okay. And just remember to trust your growth. Okay. Honor your heart and believe that your people are finding their way to you, just as you are finding your way to them. I promise you, there's more people out there than you could possibly realize are navigating the exact same river as you right now. You aren't alone. So don't shrink, be authentic, ask questions, be curious, and go find friendships. Go find loving, caring friendships. I'm really excited for you guys too. I can't wait to see what the next season looks like for you. So that's all I have for you. I hope this helps. Really, really hope this helps. So get you one last sip of Java for today, ladies. And change your mindset going into the rest of this day of just positivity, curiosity, self-love, right? We still have one more episode of our mini series in February in our little self-love series. So stay tuned for that next week. But thank you for joining me on another episode of Java and Joy. I really hope this poured some joy into you today. If you love this, please, please, please like, share, subscribe, comment. Share this with somebody else who also is looking to, understand and or make new friendships after 40. Maybe they're grieving a friendship and they could use a little advice there. And as always, come hang out with me on social media at Beauty by Carla Joy. If you have questions, beautybycarlajoy.com or /coach. If you need free resources, guides, whatever, everything is there for you guys. nice and easily listed. And again, go check out the show notes, YouTube, Spotify, everything that you need link wise is there as well. Again, happy Valentine's, happy Galentine's to you guys. And yeah, so until next time, remember, don't shrink, be authentic, be curious, and just go be you and go find those friendships, okay? Talk to you guys again soon. Go find your joy. Bye.